What up, YouTube? Hey, what we got here is the IQ Pro 1, the single pin adjustable IQ sight. And if you see right here, there's some threaded area where you're supposed to be able to buy a lens kit that you can install a 2x lens, bringing it all closer. But the problem is they don't make the lens kit anymore. And I talked to IQ and they said to call Featherview, the lens making company, and they would make a lens for it, but unfortunately they wouldn't make the piece that holds the lens in place. So I started thinking and I came up with a pretty good solution, and it's pretty inexpensive. Probably cost me probably $30, I think. So let me tell you what you're going to need here. You need to go on to Amazon. I'm not sure you can see this. Amazon, you buy the Xiaomi. I got the 6X scope lens. It's a clear lens. I put it on my bow after I retrofitted the sight, and it didn't even need a clarifier at 6X, and it works very well. It's $10, so way cheaper than the Featherview lenses. The Featherview lenses, the cheapest are in the 70s, 80s, and then they just go up from there. So the housing on this is approximately 2 inches, actually closer to like 1.87 inches. But that's also driving me crazy because I like a little bit smaller housing for shooting 3D, so that this thing just seems so large when I'm trying to focus on that pin and focus on the target. So I went ahead and I bought one of these lenses, and the lens is right here, and it's a smaller lens. It ends up being let's see here, it ends up being approximately let's see, almost the right size for the, let's see here. I'm trying to do this with my other hand. This is complicated. All right, so you're looking at 1.61 approximately, 1.61. So what I found was, doing a little bit of figuring and shopping, was I found this here piece at Home Depot. This was $8 or $6, and it is a 2-inch CLPL. Basically, it's a to 1.5-inch CLPL. So basically, it's a coupling that is designed to take a 2-inch pipe and connect it to a 1.5-inch pipe. I think 1.5-inch copper. But anyway, so what you have here is you have this larger portion here is approximately 2 inches, and what that does is that 2-inch section actually will fits right over the sight here, and then you can actually fix it down with the bolt, with the little bolts there. Okay, I probably did it down here with the lower, and then what that does is it gives you this space inside there. And what you're going to do is you're going to take a piece of 1.5-inch PVC pipe, the Schedule 40. You're going to cut 2 rings like this and a ring like this. You want to try to get them as square as you can. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take them and you're going to push them down in here like this, and you just kind of work them down in there as I'm doing it with one hand. All right, and that's what you get. You end up with kind of a set ring in there, and then you take this, your lens, and it actually sits right down inside of there like that. You want it so that it's kind of sitting flush on all the, and then you take your secondary ring here, and your secondary ring pushes right in there like that. I think I did this backwards, where my smaller ring here, I wanted to get it so it was flush to this, but this is the general idea. So what you end up with is something that holds it in place, and you tighten this here down, and what you get is basically a retrofitted scope lens. Scope lens then attaches onto here, and then this is me not even kind of bolting it down, but you can see that you end up with a 6x scope lens on there, and it's not overly heavy. It's not made of all metal and stuff. It's just basically rubber. And my plan is that once I get this thing finished put together, I'm actually going to paint these two rings. Actually, probably going to paint the outer ring so that it's black, but the inner ring I'm probably going to keep white, because I kind of like how there's a contrast, and it kind of surrounds the lens like that. And then what happens, I took it to the range earlier today. I bolted this down on here, and I realized that I didn't even need a clarifier on my peep, that with my eyes, that everything looked great. It looked, and I was able to shoot much further. I was able to really kind of settle in on more specific spots on the target. And like I said, I bought this lens I bought the sight because I was expecting that I could buy the lens kit, and there just aren't any available. I mean, I went on to Archery Talk, I went on to everywhere, and I just couldn't find one. The only thing that I'm gonna have trouble with is, I think that particular cover is gonna end up blocking the little hole, right here for the fiber light. But I'm shooting 3D, and most of the time the light is pretty bright outside, and the fiber doesn't really need the light. But I'm also probably in the process of making a new light kit to go with it that's not one of those rheostats. I want to make one that actually has a wire that goes down to here that I can turn on and off, and I can actually variably change it. But so I'll probably end up switching out the fiber on here to a clear one, so that when I put the light kit on here, that I can change the color of the actual the fiber. But I'm not going to buy one of the kits. I'm going to make one. Those kits are $200-300 and just a little bit more than I'm willing to spend on it. This is kind of like more of an experimental site, for what I'm looking for. The plan was to get this. I got the site off of eBay or off of Amazon for like $60 on sale, brand new. And so spending $200, $300 on a light kit, or $200 on a lens sounds a little crazy, and then not being able to find the lens kit for it was just aggravating. And I'm thinking, even if I did find it, the two power lens might have been a little bit weaker than I wanted. I wanted something a little bit stronger. And like I said, the Yuzuri 6X is the lens that I got, and man, it works really, really good. And it's designed, as for the Ziny scope, but it seems to work really, really well in this. And this seems to be a standard size scope lens, so even if you have a scope at home and something like that, you can probably retrofit it into a holder like this. And then, like I said, it comes on and off very easily. It sits in the housing nicely. It's not heavy, or at least I don't find it very heavy. I think it balances nicely on the bow. And what I'm going to do is, like I said, I'm going to paint the outside. I didn't want to paint it before I did the video. I'm going to paint the outside black, so that this whole silver piece is all black, and then I'm going to paint this outer ring black, and then that way it's probably just it'll blend a lot nicer. It'll probably look just like an extension on top of here. And I took it to the range, and people were kind of giving me a little bit funny looks, but you know what, I really don't care, because I brought it up that I was looking for a lens kit for that, and and evidently it's like the white whale. So a couple guys on Archery Talk said, oh, well, I found one here or one there, but they're just not available, and it's just annoying. So anyway, all right, well, I hope this helps. Help some guys, like I said, get these just very inexpensive parts, a lens from Amazon, this plumb quick piece. There's the part number from, I got it from Home Depot. It's a 2" to 1.5 inch, and then get yourself, cut a couple around, to get a small piece of 1.5 inch, schedule 40 PVC, and cut off a couple of rings, and then there you go. You might have to just play around with it a bit, but you'd be able to at least, kind of fit everything together and get a functioning, acceptable, solution to a very annoying problem. I wish that IQ would have just, continued making the lens kits, or stopped making the lens for this with this, threaded area in here, and just say, hey, we don't make a lens for it, and there isn't one, and blah, blah, blah. But anyway, all right, I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for watching.